Hi, I'm Taylor. In today's video, we're going to talk about something pretty cool. It's a Max for Live device called Augur. It is made by a fellow YouTuber and creator, ijoaudio. I'm linking him in the description. Augur is an evolving sequencer and physics engine. Now that sounds a little crazy, but the easiest way to think about it is it's a sequencer that is randomized, more or less. Right over here is a link to his original tutorial explaining it. It goes over every detail. It's relatively exhaustive and it's really great. Highly recommend watching that. Another important detail is Augur's $19. It's such a great price for a really cool product. I feel like all plugins are really expensive. Maybe Max for Live stuff isn't always that expensive, but regardless, 19 bucks doesn't seem too crazy for how complex this is. And if you're in the modular world at all, like the Eurorack stuff, this is kind of like a PAMS Pro workout, but like different, but similar, but you'll see. As you can tell, I have my laptop. We're going to start here in Ableton, and then we're going to move to the Push 3 Standalone because it works on both when you have Live 12.4 and 12.4, whatever the current update is for Push 3 as well. Starting off here because it's more visual. Okay, so I wanted to start on the computer first because it's a lot more visual. I'm not going to go over every parameter and every detail on this. I want this to be a little bit more explorational, but also I'm going to tell you what's going on and what I'm doing and why the knob is what it is. I really think this is a fun tool, and I think a lot of you would enjoy using it, so I wanted to showcase it here. Let's just go over the layout real quick. You have this upper section here, which is where all of your triggers for your sequence will show up. And then we have the direction that the sequence is going. And then we have the parameters that affect the sequence. And then we have the speed over here on the right. And then we have the scale mode down here, which you can link it to your whole project like a lot of the Ableton plugins do now, which is really awesome. You have the octaves that they can go, a chaos parameter, which is kind of nice, how much human element you want to it, a swing, your MIDI parameters, a modulation section, which we will get into, and then an export. The thing I did not go over initially is the top, which you have a shuffle, a refill, a +1, a hold, and then the lock parameters, which is off, rhythm, or all. Okay, I have an organ sound in here. It is a sound that I gravitated to today. I'm not exactly sure why, but I did, so we're here. I can play you that sound, which sounds like... So that's the sound we're going to be working with. What's nice is it's not going to get very repetitive because this kind of regenerates pretty often. Something I'd like to mention that seems to be overlooked a lot in Ableton, there is the eye icon down here in the bottom left corner, which I think a lot of people ignore. This is the info section. If you leave it open, which I leave it open all the time, I've been using Ableton for years and years and years, and I always leave it open because when you hover over different things, it will tell you what the parameter does. So if we go over here to mutate, Ian has put all the text in for what mutate does. So now you don't even have to have the manual. You could just stay in here in Ableton. That's built into like everything in Ableton. It's pretty great. Now, one step beyond that, you can leave yourself notes. The way you do it, wherever you want the information to be when you hover, you right click it and you go edit info text. So I could edit the info text for when I hover over Augur to be whatever I want. I'm a child, so I've left poop for us. So now when I hover over, it's going to say that. Hover over this other one. Nope. Hover over this one. We're back at it. I'm going to delete that because I don't need that there the whole time. But there's a little quick tip for you. This will be great during this video that you can pause when I've hovered over different things and you can read the info section and learn a little bit more about it if you don't have the manual or you're following along, whatever it may be. But let's get into making some sounds. The mutate knob got an update. It's now bipolar. And what that means is when you mutate to the left in negative percentages, you have a higher percent of losing triggers. If you move it to the right, you have a higher percentage of adding triggers. So let's mutate forward and see what happens. So now you see we have a lot more triggers, but if we go the other way, so see how it's losing a lot more triggers? I'm going to reset it, double clicking resets. So now we have this, and now that the mutate's off, it's always going to be these three. We could shuffle and have it do what a lot of the other sequencer devices do. And you just shuffle through and it can be pretty straightforward. So you don't have to have this crazy regenerative device. Granted, it's kind of meant for the regeneration. But so if we go forward a little bit. Let's leave it at 30% and see what happens. The density, self-explanatory. Drift, he says it adds extra melodic sauce, jazzy movement. So let's see what happens. Let's go 100. The knob that I think is the most impactful is gravity. And why is because gravity, which you can read here, I'm going to summarize it a little bit. Basically, it takes your key and leans the probability of being at the root notes for your key stay intact. So while it might be random, it's at least leaning in the key. So when you write other things around it, it's not like this crazy random blippy bloopy thing going on. So watch. So right now, you have no idea that the root is B, correct? I don't. So now let's turn this on to 100%. There's still variation, there's still a little randomness happening, but now you know right where the first, third, and fifth are in the scale that you're working in. So at least now we have a way to keep it grounded, which is super awesome. And the way I've used this, I think gravity is going to be up most of the way, but I might leave mutate and drift up more. Rhythm adds some variation to the steps, so they're not all the exact same length. So let's see what happens when we go 60%. Kind of fun. I'm gonna go a little less with it. And then two that I've skipped over in here is there's length, which is the steps length of this, which you can have up to 32 steps. And then there's duration, which is the duration of the notes, which can be different than the speed. Under speed, we can do triplets or dotted or straight. Right now it's straight at eighth notes. So if we go triplets, ooh, that one's kind of fun. Okay, now something I just did is I just pressed the export button. And what's really cool is if you're in the arrangement view, this might be what it looks like. This might also be what it looks like, depending on if you have the mixer open. You won't see anything happen when you press export. That's because it exports to the session view. So now tab, or if you prefer to click on stuff, the Ableton logo that's in the top right switches you between arrangement view and session view. So if we're in session view, now we have the clip. And this is the clip that I like what was going on. Saves your clips right there. So if we double click into it, now you have the MIDI. It's starting to get a little out of hand here. Let's hear dotted though still. These three are hard to hear because I don't have a beat or anything else going on. And also this analog organ is such a funny sound. I think I liked it because it was a little comical. But it's starting to almost drive me nuts. Let's slow this down. Let's get it down to like 100. What do we get? Another new addition to the 1.5 update, which is the version that I'm using, you can have speeds up to 8 bars if you want to do ambient stuff, and it's just like this regenerative ambient thing. That's a little excessive for me. I'm not gonna put anybody through that in this video. And then there's also a swing, so we can have like a 16th note swing, an 8th note swing, or like a Dilla swing. Ooh. I like this one. The chaos control is an interesting one. It adds extra octave jumps, but I also like the animation. The lock function is really nice to have because if you like the rhythm of what's happening, but you're okay with the notes changing, that's when you would lock the rhythm. If you like the entire pattern and you don't want it to change, that's where you'd lock all. But Let's see if we can get this to regenerate a rhythmic pattern that we like. I'm actually okay with that, and it adds a little bit more structure to what you're doing, but like still adds the variety of all the different notes. So I think that's kind of nice. This is just such a fun pattern going on. The other thing too is there's different directions. So we go forward, we could go reverse, we could go ping pong, we could go random, or we could go drunk. The drunk is a fun one if you want an extra addition of variation, because we'll watch it. It's kind of like what you would assume as somebody walking. This drunk is it goes forward and then it takes a couple steps back, and then it goes forward and then it might take a step back and then go forward again. You can see the line doing it here. This is great when you want a lot more variation with something. I'm gonna go back to forward just so we have something a little bit more straight and less distracting, I guess. Something that's very big for this update, but something outside of just this update that's really cool is the mod section. He has 8 different modifiers here that we can choose from, and if you've watched any of my tutorials before, you know I like the things that wander and add a little bit more variation, and we have one called Walker. There's Bio, which is like the crazier one. There's an accent, there's a heat, tension, ramp, fractal. Let's start playing. And something that was added in this version is you can map these modifiers to Augur itself and the different parameters in Augur. Previously, when you would map any of these, it would have to be to something else. So it would be like, say, the low pass filter or something on this organ device that I have, or any other device. Let's take tension. We already have duration doing some stuff. So why don't we put it on speed? Instead of it being the entirety of the scale, let's make it like, I'm gonna guess that that's like 25%. So let's go like 23 to, let's give it to like 49. And let's see where speed goes with this. It's kind of fun. And now, what if we take the accent and map it to density? And let's make sure that there's always like 35%. Let's go a little more with it. Let's go like 50%. I kind of like this a lot. Like, I think this is very fun. Okay, but how can we randomize this a little bit more? Let's actually change the speed. Let's go down so that the speed can get pretty fast. And yeah, this is okay. I like that. So then what if we add like fractal to the drift and go maybe like, it might be fun to add like Walker to the mutate too and go like 50% to 100 and see where that leaves it. And then we might get some crazy variation. I think the half note of the speed is throwing me, so let's... let's like map this and see what happens. We can go like... I actually would like to map, say, like ramp. This is so fascinating. This is the type of stuff that I could get lost in for hours. Could even like add a little more reverb. You know, I think it would be fun to add a like, let's add like some sort of drums. So we just go. I mean, this one was actually okay. So if I just go here and then just double click, let's just go 4 and see what happens. Cool. This has turned into like the goofiest. I'm not even sure what to call this, but I think this is a perfect example of what this is showing, which is you can get lost in this and have fun. And there's nothing. And it's like, it's pretty immediate. And this is why I love Eurorack gear. And this is kind of the perfect way to explain the whimsy and the joy of Eurorack without having to spend the money of Eurorack and keeping you in something that's simple and in a space that you may already know it. And if you love the way this sounds, you just hit export and you have another clip of it. So what if we pause this and what if we turn this on? That's a weird melody with this, but we could probably make something happen. What about this one? Not my favorite things that I've saved, but you know, this is just such a fun tool. I really enjoy this, and I think this is a great spot to stop and move into push 3. I love the magic of editing. Okay, now that we are on push, since I've already moved my computer out of here, I'm going to explain how to get your devices onto push. It's relatively straightforward. You could also Google it, and there's some YouTube videos. You could search for it. You'll find your way. Basically, what you do is you open Ableton and you go to your sidebar, you scroll down, you'll see push. You say connect, and it'll have a number that pops up on this screen on your push. They both have to be on, obviously, and on the same Wi-Fi network. Put the code in, and then now the file system for push has opened up. You take from your computer, in our instance here, the Augur file that's not in Ableton, the one that's on your hard drive somewhere, maybe downloads folder, and you drag it into push wherever you want it. I have a Max for Live folder in my presets. That's where you're going to see that this lives. It's that simple. So now to add Augur to push, we go the plus button here. We're on the first device that I have. I go device and we scroll down to Max for Live, and wouldn't you know it, Augur V1.5. Load that baby up. Let's go. I know I've already said it, but if you skipped the rest of the video into just the push section here, the reason that I did that beginning part first in Ableton is so that you could visually see what's happening in Augur a little bit better instead of just having these controls laid out in front of you. We still need to go into the plus. You need to go to devices, and we need to add something else. Let's add a drift. And since we already did a like regular thing, let's do something more synthy here. Let's go like a synth lead. This one could be fun. That's kind of actually similar to what we already did, but let's run with this. Let's go back to Augur. This is all set to default. So let's, once we're okay, time and feel. Human, yes, let's already just start doing stuff. I'm just gonna add like a little swing. I'm gonna use the Dilla one again. I'm not gonna lock anything. Speed is fine for now. Duration, let's just match those up. Scale, let's go to something different. Let's go E. Let's see what that leaves us with. And I'm going to leave the MIDI off. I'm not going to mess with those. We don't want the mod section yet. And then main, I'm going to just keep it on forward again. I'm just going to add some of the general stuff that we already had. 16 is plenty. And let's mutate forward. And we should just get sound. I hope it's not crazy loud. This is a lot. This is kind of a vibe. Is there a way to export these? Yeah. Let's see what that does. I'm going to pause there. Then I'm going to go here, hold down mute. I'm going to turn Augur off. Let's go to this view. I have two. So what do we have? Let's look at what it looks like. But I think this deserves like a drum beat too. So let's do that. I'm going to go to MIDI here. Let's go add a device. I'm going to go into collections. I have drums that I like. Let's just add this boom kit. Let's see what we can come up with really quickly, because this is meant to be about Augur, not about this, but maybe like, oh. change the view. Cool. Now that we've got a little bit of a beat going on, let's go back to this instrument, turn Augur back on. Here. This is sick. What the hell? So what I just did is I locked all the modes so that it's repeating basically the same thing over and over. I think something that we should do now that we have a familiar rhythm and beat, let's go into the modulation, because this is what's special about this new update on here. Outside of all the other things we already talked about, this is what makes it special on Move, because as Ian says in the explanation of this, we now have the ability to add modulations. So let's say we take the Walker one and we can map it. Now I have to go back and select a parameter. So let's select drift. So how do I select it? Oh, press save to map. So go here, save. Okay, so this is at 48. So then if we go back over to mod, that's already moving. So this is the only thing that's a little bit hard for me on push, is it's not as visual in this specific aspect of things. So it's hard for me to go in here and go, I know that this is being modulated. That has nothing to do with Augur, so take that for what it is. I really like this. I need to save this as a whole. The shadow. I'm into this. Okay, so I know I've barely scratched the surface with a lot of stuff. I want to go in here and let's go into the Midi In. So the Midi In, it gives you the options to be able to play while also letting the sequencer do its thing. So let's make sure we're in the same key here. So we need to go E, and then what key are we in? Harmonic what? Harmonic major. So let's go to harmonic major over here. Come on, there we go. Okay, so now we're in harmonic major, and we can go in key. I don't need to be out of key. And turn this on. Oh. That's cool. Oh, this is cool. Okay, so what hybrid does is it takes the note that you're playing and basically takes the sequence that's happening and makes sure the note locks to that. Let's see what latch does. Okay, so it leaves you on the note that you last pressed. That's kind of fun. What about gated? Oh, only when I'm playing it. That's fun. Okay. I think performance-wise, if you locked in something that you like, because like how we have this locked in pretty tight, I think the hybrid one would be sick because you can go. And then you can let it play. So I know I didn't like really say what I was doing, but basically just like you give yourself room to perform and make it a little bit more interesting. That's very fun. God, I just really enjoy what this is doing. What if we had some rhythm to it? Yeah, that's right. I locked it, so it's not gonna move. Did I? I'm pretty sure I exported this, but I'm gonna export it again. No. How many have I exported? Okay, anyway, well, save. So now that I have them, and now I can go back to time and feel and unlock it and let it go wild again. Ooh. Oh, drift is the one that we modulated, I think. Something that I'll do as a closing little modulation piece, I'm gonna add a auto filter to this channel, and let's give this a fun little do is I'm going to add modulation to the frequency of this and see what happens. So let's go in here, let's go open Augur, go to mod, and we're going to go over to let's actually go to accent, and I'm going to map it to to go out to auto filter and bring this baby down. I should move it, right? It doesn't seem to be. Okay, so if I leave it there, let's go back to Augur and let's go. Let's put it on ramp just to see. I think it's going backwards. Let me go back to... It's a little subtle, but this seems like it's actually doing something. Let's see if we hike this up. Okay. Okay. That's kind of fun. Ooh. If this isn't a relatively good showcase of how fun Augur is, this was my first time playing with Augur on push. This was so fun. I really like the randomness and the whimsy that it feels like it adds, but also it feels serious, so it doesn't feel like a toy so much as it feels like a tool. I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough of sorts and this experimentation with Augur. If you think that this device would be fun for you, useful to you, please go in the link in the description and support Ian. He's a really great guy, makes really cool stuff. If you like this video, if you like what I did here, please subscribe. If you want to support me, I offer private lessons. If that seems like something that you'd be interested in, I'd love to help you. If you want to support me monetarily, I have memberships here on YouTube. I have affiliate links down below. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one.